Ahoy rum explorers, I'm Nia, I'm a rum enthusiast, and today we're exploring Montaña. Finally, it's been forever, I've been wanting to review this. The specific release that we're reviewing today is going to be Valentia, so we're going to talk a little bit of why I chose this bottle, how I got this bottle, and some history on this distillery. So grab a drink and come plunder some rum with me. Have your drink, it's officially rum time. So today we're gonna again talk about Valentia. This distillery is actually in Crest Butte, Colorado. They were established in 2008 by Karen Hoskin. Super excited to review this company. They are founded by women, ran by women, and they're very eco-friendly, so they're B certified, which is incredible. They're very into doing a combination of science and art in order to create their rum. They do a batch still type of rum. They have a 500-gallon pot still at altitude, and by altitude they're at 9,000 feet above water. Yes, quite high. So it's kind of reminding me of those good old Central and South American rums that we all love so much as well. The source material that they get, it's sugarcane from Louisiana. They say that they have a really good relationship with the farmers, which I think is very important to close the entire loop. So they have a good relationship with them, which I imagine not only are their employees paid really well, but they make sure that the farmers that they get the sugarcane from are also paid very well. I'm gonna put a picture of the pot still because it's quite unique. It is a copper pot still, and the bottom does look quite traditional, but on the top it has something called a lentil, which I had never seen, and it's basically a bowl shape that hides an inside channel that forces the steam to flow upward and in a spiral. So after that distillation process through a pot still, they actually age 2 to 5 years in American oak barrels. They do say that they follow the laws for whiskey in Colorado, which is quite interesting, I think, and I love the fact that they're sticking to certain rules, even though, as we all know, the US is quite flexible when it comes to what's rum. Okay, so as we all know, it is still March Women's History Month, so with this incredible history of this distillery, I wanted to go ahead and get this bottle. How I sourced this bottle, thank you so much, Nani. If you tuned in on Tuesday, we had our very first rum news with Nani, my best friend. We had an amazing time. Thank you so much for all the crew members that tuned in. I so appreciate it. And if you didn't tune in and you enjoyed it, make sure you're subscribed so I can welcome you on board. And now let's jump into the review. Oh, this is hard. Oh my god. Oh, that's a big pop. So plastic cork. We're gonna pour a little bit on the Glencairn and a little bit on the neat glass. Trying not to do my standard pirate pour because sometimes it really gets crazy here. Now there's a very light amber color to this. I would say more on like the champagne color. Legs are moving. Not a lot of beating, which is pretty standard for a 4-year-old rum. Okay, so now as far as the notes, I did read that they do say that you should detect vanilla, cardamom, ginger, honeysuckle, which is very sweet. So I wonder how sweet it'll get. And then what I absolutely love, they said also white flowers, and it has a spicy rye finish. Now, in this household, we are big fans of rye whiskeys, so I'm very excited to try this. Ooh, I can definitely detect the cardamom and the ginger. Unfortunately, I don't have cardamom, but I can bring out the cardamom spice, which, as you know, I bought it. That's like a kind of workaround that I found out in order to be able to experience these notes. So I'm just gonna do what I did last time. If you have not watched that video, definitely watch it. I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit of cardamom on there, and it actually worked, which was quite surprising. But hey, not everybody can spend over $200 on the aroma kit. So this might definitely be an option for you. I did buy this cardamom. It is organic and doesn't have any GMO. So I'm hoping it's a little bit more potent because of that, but we'll see. So vanilla, as we all know, I absolutely love it. So I'm gonna leave it here hanging out for a little bit while you and I catch up on a couple things. So I'm gonna help you cheat. No, not on your significant other. In the background, in my little octopus decoration, I've decided that I'm gonna give you a sneak peek on the reviews that are coming up. So make sure you keep an eye out. If you see what it is, I would love for you to comment down below and see if you can guess what's coming up next week. Sundays, I also have sample Sundays, and this Sunday I'm gonna put out another video from my stash that was given by the River Pirate 13. Him and I are constantly exchanging samples, so I'm super grateful for him. Now let's go ahead and try this. Now I did let it rest for a little bit and it's mellowed out. I like that I let it rest this time. Usually I start tasting and enjoying it right away, but it feels like the alcohol has dissipated, so I'm able to detect the notes a little bit better. So it definitely smells like a floral note in there. I could definitely smell a little bit of the vanilla, and not so much the ginger. But I'm gonna go ahead and try it. Cheers. You do get this a little bit of hug. This is gonna be 80 proof, but the most interesting part is the front of the palate is very peppery, a lot more peppery than I was expecting it, but it ends on like a sweeter note. I don't think they add anything to this because they don't mention it, but let's go ahead and check the label. Yeah, it doesn't say anything about additives, so I'm gonna assume that they don't add anything. They say that rum is their obsession. Touche, Montana, touche. So is mine. I'm totally obsessed. This is very good. I'm so excited and happy. Thank you, Nani, again for getting me this bottle. I so appreciate it. This is excellent. Now that the vanilla has rested, I'm gonna go ahead and try to nose it and compare. Yeah, there's definitely a little bit of vanilla in there, but it has more of like a floral note, like I was saying, which is beautiful. It's a beautiful nose. Let's move on to the neat glass and see if it's a little bit better. No, it's a lot more muted in this one. Wow, I can't believe how muted it is, the nose in here. Again, I didn't do a pirate pour, so I think I'm a little bit disappointed in myself for not going full pirate this time. But I think the glass itself gives it so much aeration that the nose kind of weakens versus the Glencairn is more concentrated. I think a little bit of the floral note, the vanilla's coming through a little bit more. The honeysuckle, I would say, smells quite sweet. And now let's see the cardamom. Now this is the only tricky part. If you do decide to do a rum aroma kit in your house, I have to figure out how to contain actual spices. I think some kind of like container, like glass container with maybe like a little mesh would be super helpful. Maybe you can like mix it up and it'll come up. But for now, basically, it's gonna be like a Tony Montana scene. You know, I'm just gonna put my nose as close as possible to the cardamom spice. I don't detect it. I don't detect the cardamom. I think now that I compare to the actual cardamom, it kind of smells like it might be ginger. And I don't have anything that smells like ginger, unfortunately. So obviously I'm gonna need to research and search for that so I can find an option to compare with ginger. Now let's go ahead and try the neat glass. Cheers. That wryness is pulling through on the front of the palate. If you're not a fan of like peppery rums, don't recommend this, but I think you should give it a try. I feel like this might be a good rum for whiskey drinkers. So if you are a whiskey drinker and you happen to stumble on my channel, hey, welcome. I'm about to convert you to the rum side. So definitely try this. This is excellent. Quite peppery in the front, a little bit of sweetness in the back, but natural sweetness from the sugarcane juice. Nothing added to this. So hey, welcome to the crew potentially. I hope you might try this rum, and let me know down below if you do try this. Put it in the comments down below. Okay, so moment of truth. Is this treasure chest approved? Yes, it is. I'm sure not all of you are familiar, but I do like naturally spiced rums or just spiced rums in general. So when I find rums like this where you get the spiciness or the pepperiness at the beginning, And this is more like a pepper. I know sometimes I say rums have like a white pepper. No, this is definitely a black pepper, beginning on the palate, and at the end you have that sweetness like honeysuckle. So if you are able to scoop this up in the liquor store near you, definitely get this. I do not know how much it costs, but I'm assuming, I'm gonna guess between $30 and $40, because again, this was a gift from Nani. Again, thank you so much. But I'm excited to add something like this in my collection because I do not have any spiced rums. Yes, I know. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. But I do want a very well balanced spiced rum. And this one has a perfect mixture of spiciness and sweetness and a little bit of the heat being an 80 proof rum. Thank you so much for watching. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe so I can welcome you on board. It also helps me know how much you're liking my content, and I look forward to the next rum. Cheers!